Okay, hi, I'm Mike Cassidy. I work for BloomReach, and I'm here with Chris Folayan, who is the founder, correct, of Mall for Africa.
That is correct.
And it sounded to me like a very intriguing e-commerce project, and so I thought I would talk to Chris and just see if he could explain to us exactly what Mall for Africa is.
Yeah, basically, Mall for Africa came about because we need to bring items, and then it turned into a laundry list, and then the list got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I started carrying excess luggage, and ended up realizing that this was a need. So obviously, most good ideas, come from needs. So I saw that this was a need, and people in Nigeria and Africa as a whole needed to get items, but they couldn't shop on top US and UK stores. The sites were there, but they did not ship to Nigeria or ship to any African country. So decided, hey, I could turn this into a business and fulfill a need for, a continent and a nation that can afford the products. So that's how Mall for Africa actually started. It was basically I saw the need and went after that and developed a software application that people can now download on their mobile device or their PCs or Macs and shop on sites like Macy's and get items to them in Nigeria, and we're going to be opening to different other African countries.
Wow.
So that's really the idea in a nutshell.
No, so I think unfortunately we might have lost you a little bit with maybe some buffering problems, but at the very beginning it sounded like you're from Nigeria, I believe, and you used to cart things back when you would visit. Is that what you were saying? Is that?
Yes. Basically, people were kept on asking me, can you bring this? Can you bring that? They would give me a list. It started with friends and family, and then it went outside that base, and people I didn't know were asking me to bring stuff in, and I saw that there was a need.
Wow.
And decided to develop an application that could take care of that need, or help that need, and that people can use stuff.
So now I think we've all watched with some amazement the way e-commerce has evolved. Even in the past 5 years. And one of the things, of course, that's huge is mobile, and I'm kind of wondering how important the evolution of mobile commerce is in what you're doing. Whether that was something that was almost necessary for your business plan.
It was. It was absolutely necessary. Most people in Nigeria and in Africa in general are online via their smartphones. So most people that's their connection to the internet. It's not via their PC or their desktops or anything like that. It is via their mobile phones. So in order to get this business to work and to do really well and be successful, we actually had to create a mobile app for it. So it's extremely important.
Well, maybe without getting too much into the weeds of it, I'm curious as to how the partnership with the retailers works. I mean, are you directly working together, or do you provide basically a third-party platform?
It's both. So we work together, and we provide a third-party platform. So, for example, with Macy's, we work together with Macy's, and with some other stores, we work together with them, like Kitson and Shubaka. So we work directly with some companies, and with some companies, it's more of a third party. And we're basically supplying them or providing them with an extension of their brands into Africa. So we are taking their brands into Africa, where we have the knowledge, we have the boots on the ground, the marketing talent to get their brands out there and to get people to know about their brands and shop on their websites using our platform.
Wow. So I guess I should ask, how do you guys make your money? I assume that's one of the goals.
Sure. We make money. We have what's called the fee, Mall for Africa fee. So whenever you make a purchase, you will see, there's an additional line item when you're making your purchase that says Mall for Africa fee, and that's where we make our money. So we make our money off, basically fees.
Okay. Well, I imagine it's a logistic. The logistics are probably somewhat expensive. I mean, to get something to Nigeria from the U.S.
It is, but we've worked with some partners and we've been able to get some really good deals. And you know, like all things, when it comes to shipping, the larger you ship, the better rates you're able to get and all of that stuff. So we're doing pretty well that we do ship several tons, um, and that gives us some pretty good rates.
So on the consumer's end, how long would I wait for my package if I were in Nigeria, say?
5 to 15 business days. It depends on how fast we get the item and how we can ship that item. Yeah. So, for example, some of the things we can ship via courier, via DHL, for example, those things will get to Nigeria about 2 days after we get them here. And the bigger items, a car part, or a bicycle or something like that, we actually send via air freight. And that would take a little bit longer, about 10 business days.
Interesting. Well, this may be sort of a U.S.-centric question, but one thing I think, at least that I thought about was, well, Nigeria, there are a number of problems that the country's working through. Is e-commerce really, one of the needs? And maybe give me some perspective on that.
Yeah. So e-commerce it's a huge need. Nigeria in itself, we're known for our oil and our, I guess, raw material, different, natural materials go. But we're not known for the country that produces a lot of goods, when it comes to electronics or anything like that, or even clothes. I mean, so where the Nigerians get all of that stuff is really from abroad. And this is one tool that people can use instead of traveling abroad and paying that nice international airline ticket. This is one tool they can use to get the items they need. And Nigeria and Africa in a whole are very rich countries. There are more millionaires made in Nigeria on a weekly basis than there are in the U.S. So the funds are there, the money is there, and the need and the market is there. So once you have all of those things working in tandem and hand in hand, you pretty much have a pretty good business.
That's interesting. Well, one last thing, do you care to take a crack at taking a look at the future of e-commerce? I mean, this is what you're doing is something I hadn't thought about till recently. I mean, where are we going from here?
I'm sorry, I did lose you. There was a buffer there.
Sure. I'm wondering if you care to take a crack at talking about the future of e-commerce, given the kind of evolution we've seen. Where are we going?
Well, I think e-commerce is really going to be the place. I do think the age of the brick and mortar stores are going down, and online is pretty much where it's going to be at in the future. And you can actually see the trends going that way. You can see more brick and mortar stores are either reducing their locations or shutting down and just going directly online. That's one, I guess, litmus test or test you can look at, and I think that's pretty much where it's going, because online you can pretty much have everything at your fingertips, and you just have to select it, and things are coming so quickly in the mail. You can get something next day or in 2 days. But you can't have the selection you can get online in a store. It's just not possible. So I do think online retail is where it's at for the future.
Well, that's interesting. And I want to, again, thank you for your time. It's Chris Folayan with Mall for America. Mall for Africa.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. And we'll talk to you again soon, I hope.
Okay, thank you very much.